Well, welcome to the second to last week of fantasy football. It's been a very exciting week as we find out who plays for the finals. And I'm joined this week by League Commissioner Don Wedding. Don, thanks for joining us.
Well, thank you, Rob. Thanks for having me.
So, do you want to start?
In the finals, it is going to be the Alabama Rednecks and the Detroit Lions, or the Virginia Beach Lions, excuse me. Randy's Virginia Beach Lions.
Well, Randy's a decent coach, and Jeff's just kind of a schmuck. So I've got to go with Randy.
I'm going to go with Randy, too. I despise both of them. I really do.
Jeff's accused you of being a talentless schmuck. Would you care to respond?
This talentless schmuck has kicked Jeff's butt every single year for the last 6 years. How ironic is that? If this talentless schmuck can kick Jeff around like
a beach ball.
Like a beach ball, thank you. That makes him less than a talentless schmuck. That makes him a guy in the army. I despise Jeff. I mean, I really do.
He's not a very nice individual.
No, he is not. However,
and he's not very bright.
But he's
not very sharp.
No, he's not. But here, this is.
I mean, he's sharp for someone in
government service. Yes,
right.
Yes.
Okay, so Jeff loses in the finals. I think
Jeff loses in the finals. It is an absolute. You can bet your children's lives on this one, folks.
Who else is playing?
Well, the Hawaii Five-O's and the Pigs. I'm gonna. Do you really care?
Well, I'd like to see Dave bring Carson Palmer back just for one for one final appearance.
You know, I think so too.
David gets style points just for bringing Carson back.
You know what, Dave? You play Carson Palmer, and I guarantee you're gonna get exactly what you deserve. Okay, so what we have here is in the Selfish division, Daniel pounded the stuffing out of Milan Ricolta.
Milan, you out there?
And on the other side, we have Johnny D, John Del Vecchio, the newcomer, taking Jody Retluski's team, the Maple Syrup, and he, in fact, I think he picked dead freaking last this year. And yet he still did a respectable job at, just missed making it into the finals. John Del Vecchio is instrumental in my review every year at SAS, so I'm gonna have to go with John Del Vecchio. What about you?
I think I like Dan in this one.
You like Dan in this one? Yeah, he's gonna probably field a team of injured people and people on the bye week though.
He won this week. He's on a roll.
Remember,
it was in week 4. We were looking at Dan to be the powerhouse for that division, right? I think he comes back and he makes a man of himself.
He makes a man of himself.
Right. He mans up in the final week.
Okay, well, I don't think we're going to touch that one. Okay, well, moving on down to the Peter Keating division. Again, another brilliant joke if you've read any Ayn Rand. He's the guy who invented the automatic car starter.
Education.
That was Kettering for all you kids from public school. And let me know when this public school joke starts getting a little irritating. It's almost as funny as that punter joke that I made in the draft. Over and over again, remember?
And as I recall, 3 weeks ago, you played the same punter over and over again, even though the Steelers didn't play him.
Really?
He wasn't on the field, Don.
Well, that really... Well, I learned something. How did you know this? I thought you didn't know anything about football.
I watched in great mirth for week after week as your punter scored 0 points.
I kept wondering about that.
And he was on injured reserve in real life, but ESPN didn't post him as being on injured reserve, and you just kept playing the.
Well, I kept looking at the ESPN averages, and I said, "Wow, he's got some pretty good averages." But I watched it drop every week, not realizing that the reason is he was injured.
And then 2 weeks ago on the video, we commented on it, and you still didn't get it.
I thought you were joking. I didn't trust you, Rob. Sorry. Do you blame me? Would you trust you if you were me? Let's go down to the Peter Keating division. And, well, let's start off with Catherine and Jim. Jim Kirkhope, I have known Jim Kirkhope for pushing 30 years now.
You've been pushing Jim Kirkhope around for 30 years now?
A lot of people have been pushing Jim around for 30 years. In fact, Jim used to hang around with me a lot in high school. You probably remember that. You know what?
Jim had poor eyesight, and as I recall, he didn't smell that good either.
Well, yes. In fact, and Jim used to think that I was his cool friend because they used to call me the second biggest dork in high school. Jim played my lovely wife, Catherine, and in fact, just like every other woman Jim's ever fought in life, he got the hell kicked out of him. We're looking at a 102-87 shellacking. So Jim is going to face either Rob or me in the absolute dead last division.
Are we going to see a new Kangaroos logo next year?
I do like the Kangaroos cheer. Hop, 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 hop. Go Kangaroos. I mean, that really inspires people. I'd like to do that. But I think I might just become the sugar daddies next year.
I want to thank Don for joining us this week.
Aren't you going to ask me about the Teen Prez? Let me tell you something. Teen Prez is coming back, and so is Elf with a Gun. We will resolve that. I promise.
There's an incentive to come back.
Elf with a Gun.
With that, we'll close for this week. Thanks a lot. We'll see you soon.
Meet me in my hotel rooms. There's a lot of guys sitting in the jacuzzi, working out, rubbing each other down.